Learn how to crochet a super easy amigurumi egg for Easter. Hi there, I'm Cilla from Cilla Crochets, and I'm here to cheer you on throughout your crochet journey no matter what stage you're at. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this super easy amigurumi Easter egg. While you'll need a little bit of crochet experience, such as how to single crochet, how to increase, how to decrease, and how to do a magic circle, the rest I will be walking you through step by step so you can crochet some really fun Easter eggs. Let's dive in. Before I forget, there are timestamps in the description below, which means you can jump to any part of this video. So if you've had to walk away from your project and you're coming back to it now, make sure you go to that description and click the section of the pattern that you are up to. I hope it helps. To crochet this Easter egg, I'm using worsted weight yarn. I've got Creative Cotton Aran here by Rico Design. I'm only using the scrap I've got, so this is a great project to use up any of your yarn scraps. Now, I'll be using this. I honestly won't need this much, but you'll see how much I have left over when we're finished. But it's just to, you know, give you an idea that making Easter eggs is a really great way to use up some of your yarn scraps if you've got a pile, not sure, you know, you're not sure what to do with it. So I will be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. This is my Clover & More, my trusty favorite crochet hook. Now, the yarn label of this type of yarn I'm using recommends a 4 to 5mm, but as you'll note, I have gone down in hook size. So if you're using a different yarn to worsted weight, I recommend using a smaller hook size than what is on your yarn label, just because it's amigurumi and we want our stitches to be super tight so you can't see the stuffing. You will also need some scissors, a stitch marker, and a tapestry needle. You can use a straight or bent tip tapestry needle. I personally prefer using the bent tip tapestry needles when we're making amigurumi just because it helps with the 3D shapes, but it is not a requirement. You can just use a normal one if you don't have a bent tip one. And don't let me forget, you also need stuffing for this project. It is an amigurumi after all. Another note just before we dive in to crochet our Easter egg is that I am using US terms. So a single crochet in US terms is equivalent to a double crochet in the UK terms. So just be aware I am using US terms. Okay, let's get straight into the pattern. I'm going to start by making a magic circle. Then I'll crochet 8 single crochet into the magic circle. Now I will pull on this yarn tail and our magic circle will close. Pull that tightly. So that's round 1. Round 2, we're going to increase in every stitch around. So that is 2 single crochets into each stitch. So that's our first increase. Second increase. Now's a good time to put your stitch marker in. So we've done 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that into the first stitch of this round. Okay, now continue around doing 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch, and I'll meet you back at the start. So at this point you should have 16 stitches in total. Got 16. I find now is a good time to secure this starting yarn tail into your magic circle. So I'm going to do that quickly now using my tapestry needle. And that just means the magic circle will stay nice and tight and closed as we crochet. All I'm doing is crocheting into the back side of these stitches. So that's the right side of our stitches, this is the wrong side of our stitches, and I'm going to go all the way around and then skip one stitch and go back the other way. So I'll fast forward this bit and I will meet you back here for round 3. In round 3, we're going to do single crochet into the next stitch and then increase, so 2 single crochet into the next stitch after that. So it's a sequence using 2 crochet stitches, and we'll repeat that sequence all around. So single crochet in the first stitch, increase in the next stitch, and then repeat that 8 times, which will give us 24 stitches in total. So I'll do the first 2 with you. So it's a single crochet in the first one, then 2 single crochet in the next one, next stitch. Put our stitch marker into that first single crochet of the round. And then we'll do the next sequence, so single crochet, then an increase, 2 single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, now we'll repeat that sequence of the single crochet and increase all the way around until we get back here. So I'll meet you at the end. Now we've got our last repeat of that sequence to go, so it's a single crochet in the next stitch and then an increase, so 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. Okay, so now you should have 24 stitches in round 3. In round 4, all we're going to do is single crochet around. That means 1 single crochet into each stitch. So we'll also end up with 24 stitches in round 4. So let's go on and do that now. So that's our first single crochet, second single crochet, third single crochet. I'm going to put the stitch marker in now so I don't lose my place. Okay, and then just continue single crocheting 1 in each stitch around, and I'll meet you back at the start. And I'll meet you back at the end of round 4. And that's the end of round 4, so we should be left with 24 single crochet stitches in this round. I'm going to quickly count my stitches and make sure that that's right. Feel free to do the same. Right, we're all good. We've got 24 stitches. Now we're up to round 5. In round 5, we're going to do another repeated pattern. So we do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet in that stitch, 1 single crochet in that stitch, and then we do an increase in the 3rd stitch, which is 2 single crochets in that 1 stitch. And we repeat that sequence of 3 8 times. Let's do the first 2 together. I'll take out the stitch marker. So we do a single crochet once, single crochet twice, and then we do an increase in the next stitch, so 1 single crochet and then another single crochet in the same stitch. So that's our first sequence of stitches. So that was 4 stitches we crocheted, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the stitch marker at the beginning of the round, and then let's do that again. So single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the stitch after that, then an increase, 2 single crochets in that next stitch. Okay, so we should have crocheted 8 stitches in total so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to repeat that sequence 6 more times until we get back to the beginning. All right, I'll meet you back. And that is our round 5 completed. Quick way you can check what round you're on. So 1, that is the center magic circle, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're just counting these rows of little bumps. They are your rounds. Okay, so after round 5, you should have 32 stitches in total because we've done those increases around there. In round 6, we're just single crocheting around, so that means 1 single crochet in each stitch. We will also end up with 32 stitches in round 6. So let's go ahead and do round 6. So just single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. And we keep going around like that. Don't forget to put your stitch marker in. Okay, so I'll meet you back here at the end of row 6. And that is round 6 completed. So you should also still have 32 stitches in the round. We're going to continue what we've just done in round 6 more times. So from round 6, which we've just done already, all the way to round 12, so that is 7 rounds in total, all we're doing is crocheting single crochets in each stitch around. So at the end of each of these next rounds, round 7, round 8, round 9, 10, 11, and 12, after each one of those, you'll end up with 32 stitches. Going to go ahead and continue crocheting those rounds. I'll stop at intervals along the way just to make sure you're getting on okay and to remind you to count your stitches after each round. So let's crack on and crochet round 7 of our Easter egg. So that is round 7 done. You'll notice that your egg is starting to curve, or this circle is starting to curve upwards. So you're creating that 3D shape. And that is simply because we're not adding increases or decreases. We're instead building up. So it's not going out anymore, it's starting to build up. So after round 7, you should have 32 stitches. Go ahead and count those if you're not sure. Otherwise, go on to round 8, which is again single crochets in each stitch around. that is round 8 complete, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for round 9. Alright, that's the end of round 9. This is a good place to check in, so just double check what round you're up to by counting your rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So good, we're off to a great start. And the next bit is let's double check the number of stitches in our round. So it should be 32 stitches, so just go ahead and count the little V shapes around the outside of your piece. So we have 32 stitches. That is fantastic. That's what we want. So now we're going to go on to round 10 and do the same thing. 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so that is round 10 completed. In round 11, we're just going to do the exact same thing. Okay, that is round 11 complete. So we only have to do this once more in our final round that's the same. So this is round 12 we're up to now, and we're still just single crocheting in each stitch around. Alright, that is the end of round 12. This is a good time to double check the number of your stitches are correct, so you should have 32 stitches around. Really, what we've done here is we've started off with a magic circle, then we've gone out, and then we've gone up. And now with row 13, we're going to start introducing decreases to make the egg shape, you know, so we're going inwards now. So the next stitch combination for round 13 is 2 single crochet. So that is 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch after that. And then we're going to do a decrease. I'm going to do an invisible decrease, drawing these next 2 stitches together using 1 single crochet. So I'll show you that a couple of times, and then we're just repeating that stitch combination 8 times in total, so we end up with 24 stitches at the end. So let's start. We'll start with our first single crochet in the first stitch, then another single crochet in the next stitch after that. I'm going to put our stitch marker in here now. Then I'm going to do an invisible decrease, joining the next 2 stitches together. So to do that, insert your hook into the front loop only of the next stitch, then into the front loop only of the next stitch after that. Just be careful you're getting all of those strands in the yarn piece. So my hook is not through the back loop of those 2 stitches, it's just through the front loop. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through those 2 stitches at the front, yarn over and pull through again. Okay, so let's do that little combination again. So 1 single crochet, another single crochet in the next stitch, then an invisible decrease, bringing those next 2 stitches together into 1 stitch. And then just repeat that process until you reach your stitch marker. So 2 single crochet and then a decrease. Now we're coming up to our last section, so single crochet, and then our final decrease just before we get to the stitch marker. Now is a good time just to double check your stitch count again, so you should have 24 stitches around at this point in time. Now in round 14, we are going to single crochet around again. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Alright, so that is your round 14 complete. Now, before we go on to round 15, I think now is a good time to actually start stuffing your egg. So, we'll get some stuffing. Break it up with your hands a little bit. Oh, for some reason I have a leaf in my stuffing, that's great. Break it up with your hands a little bit, just so you don't get any like big lumps of stuffing staying together. You do want it as evenly distributed in your shape as you can. So I'm not gonna stuff it loads at this point because we don't want, you know, it to get in the way of our crocheting, so to speak. But I think it's just a good time to start putting just a little bit of our stuffing in there. Okay, so now we'll go on to round 15, and with round 15 we're doing 2 single crochet and then a decrease, and we're repeating that 6 times this time instead of 8. So I'll do the first couple with you. So single crochet in that stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to put my stitch marker in now. So we've done 2 single crochet, then we do an invisible decrease. Of course you can use a normal decrease as well. I just personally always prefer using an invisible decrease when I can for amigurumi. So the next pattern, or repeat I should say, is 2 single crochet and then another decrease. So after 2 repeats of that pattern, we should have 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, we should have 6 stitches. So each repeat is 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on track. So we just need to do that 4 more times now, and I will meet you back at the start of the next round. This is our final repeat, so 2 single crochet and ending with a decrease. You can tell we definitely need a lot more stuffing in that piece. Alright, so I am going to now continue to put more stuffing in this piece as after I crochet each of the next rounds. So I'm going to try and fill it out a little bit more. Just making sure that stuffing is broken up so it can be evenly spread out within the shape as much as possible. Okay, so for round 16, we're just doing a single crochet in each stitch around, and you should have 18 stitches currently, and 18 stitches when you finish round 16. So you're not changing the number of stitches in this round. So 1 single crochet, another single crochet, another single crochet. Don't forget to put your stitch marker in. Okay, and then continue single crocheting around. Okay, so you might want to check your stitch count here. After row 16, you should have 18 stitches around. Don't forget to add a tiny bit more stuffing as you go, making sure that there aren't any big sections of your egg that don't have stuffing in them. At the same time, you don't want to put too much stuffing in because you don't want to stretch your stitches. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we're up to round 17 now, and in round 17 we're going to do a single crochet and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat that 6 times. So single crochet in the first stitch, then a decrease in the next stitch. Okay, I'm doing an invisible decrease. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in now. So that's our first repeat. Then we're going to do another single crochet and then another invisible decrease. That is our second repeat. Now continue doing that 4 more times until you reach the beginning. Final decrease done there, and that is the end of row 17. So you should have 12 stitches at this point. I'm going to add more stuffing again, just a little bit, trying to make sure that this shape is full, in particular at the top where you've just added a round. But if you see your stitches starting to stretch, if you can start to see the stuffing, you've put too much in, so take a little bit out. Right, now we're going on to round 18, and all we're doing in this round is we are single crocheting around, so we'll end up with 12 stitches in this round as well. All right, so again, add a little bit more stuffing. Now you'll be glad to know that round 19 is the last round you will crochet to finish your egg. So at this point, you can see my top is not really stuffed very well. At this point, you want to finish stuffing the shape because you will not have a chance to add any more stuffing after this. So I'm going to add a little bit more stuffing. Now we're up to our final round, round 19, and we're going to decrease in a round. So we're going to decrease 6 times. Now I find it a little bit hard to work with the stitch marker when we're this small, so just make sure you count your stitches if you're not using your stitch marker like me. So this is a third decrease. You should have 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do. And that is what we want. So now you want to cut your yarn, and don't worry if your shape looks a little bit funny, because it does at the moment. You don't need a lot of yarn. We're not sewing anything. Well, we're not sewing much. We are closing the end of the shape though, so you want to leave yourself about 30 centimeters. Then we're going to fasten off simply by yarning over and pulling that entire thread through. Then we're going to get our tapestry needle and we're going to weave in and out of these front loops in the last round. So that's one, that's going in. Now we're going up into the next front loop, then we're going down. So we've done that for 3 stitches. This is our 4th stitch, 5th stitch, and the last stitch. And why we're doing that is to close the shape. Finding it a little bit harder to see there. Okay, so, and then you want to pull that tight and that will close your shape. Now at this point, you might want to squish your egg a little bit to make sure that that stuffing is, you know, evenly distributed inside the shape. And then we're just going to use our tapestry needle to put the yarn into a very nearby stitch from where it's coming out from. So I'm just going to put it here, and then I'm going to pull it out much lower down here, pull that through, and once I find the end of my yarn, so I always overestimate how much yarn I need at the very end of a project, but I would rather that than not have enough, to be honest. So hopefully you're a little bit better at estimating that than me. And then all you're doing is you're pulling the yarn as tight as you can, and you're going to snip the yarn tail off. You don't want to cut the bit you've crocheted though, so just be really careful when you do that. And then once you squish it, little yarn tail will go back inside the egg. And there you have it. There is your little amigurumi egg. Now you can do lots of fun things with this. You could embroider the outside, you could do it multicolored and change colors in different orders, different patterns. Lots you can do with this little one. I told you it was easy. That is how you crochet an Easter egg. Really, really simple. And for a little bit of background, this is the egg shape that I use for all of my eggy animals. This is little Toto the tiger. And I've got loads and loads more. If you want to check out these free patterns, they're on my blog. I'll put the links in the description below. But for now, I hope you have fun making lots of different Easter eggs. Let me know in the comments below what you're planning on doing with your Easter eggs. Maybe it's an Easter egg hunt, maybe you're selling them at a market, or maybe you're just crocheting them as decorations around the home. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a massive favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more crochet videos from me like this one, subscribe for more and turn the little bell on so you get notified when any new videos are released. Until next time, happy crocheting!